What can you tell me about the elders? Sippy laughs, shrugging. Well, they're an eclectic bunch, that's for sure. Where to start? It's the spiritual leader here. She's the voice of the Whampoans, I guess. A lot of her close friends are really more of followers, since she is something of a priest for the machine spirits. Maybe it's a cultural thing for people who grew up here, but it's never called to me. Still, she makes a damn fine pot of tea. Gips the muscle, and has an encyclopedic knowledge of cyber and bioware. Definitely a good guy to have watching your back. Not too friendly, but you know how it is. You get a lot of cyber, people start wondering if you'll tear their arms off. Sippy makes a chopping gesture with one hand. He's got moves straight out of Blood Carnival 3, The Reckoning. Terrible movie, but great fight choreography. What about Tong? I don't know much about him, but I think he's got some kind of fetish for automation. Found him cooing over some trids of automated delivery drones in a warehouse once. He works with drones, has a shop called the Blessed Autofab. He was raving about the efficiency of the movement patterns or something. You already know about Tong, Ren Sims, BTL, skill chips. Gan used to be a city planner before he had a nervous breakdown and got involved in statistical analysis. Gan used to be a city planner before he had a nervous breakdown and got involved in statistical analysis. What? Sippy pauses to collect his thoughts. Nakamura came from Fukuoka. He was interested in entertainment, trids mostly. Spent a lot of time analyzing subliminals in ads. Then there was Magpie. She was the chief decker, hot as hell against IC. And built her own hardware, salty old woman though. Never met anyone who was quite as shrew or nasty when she was mad. She was mad most of the time. Wait, nobody mentioned Magpie to me. When did she die? She didn't. Maybe a month ago she just up and disappeared. I went to her shop one day and she just wasn't open. Nobody's seen her since. Kind of a pain in the ass too. She owed me some new analyze software she'd picked up. I never heard of Magpie either. She must be one of the newer Whampoans. If she was the decker, she would have replaced Elder Gao. No surprise there. Gao was older than Qin Shi Huangdi's terracotta warriors. Qin Shi Huangdi is the Qin Emperor. He's the first emperor. When I was learning decking from him, he could barely get out of bed. Still fast as hell in the Matrix though. How can you be new and an elder? Isabel rolls her eyes. It's a stupid name. It doesn't actually have much to do with the time spent in the community. This has something to do with it, sure, but it's mostly about how skilled you are, how good your connections are, and how much you can help everybody else. Should have called them experts or something. Bingo, that's exactly it. She was only here for about 3 years, but she knew a lot of people all over the Matrix, in Shanghai and Beijing, all kinds of places. That plus her skill meant she was a shoo-in when Gao died. Yeah, but how do they know they can trust her? Why would she disappear? No idea. One day she was here, the next poof. At first I thought she was just on vacation, since she had mentioned wanting to see the Kingdom of Hawaii someday. But it didn't feel right. She would have at least told me if she was leaving. It seemed mighty suspicious to me. Nobody else seemed to care what happened to her, probably because she pissed them all off so bad. A little odd for her to just disappear, don't you think? Of course it's odd. She owed me lunch too, and she was the sort who paid her debts promptly. You might want to check out her shop. It's all locked up, but the other elders have a spare key. Couldn't hurt to look around, and even though Magpie was always butting heads with the other elders, they wouldn't have any reason not to let you in. What do you mean they were butting heads? Magpie and the others never saw eye to eye. She was contrary for the sake of it. Most of the rest had a grand vision for what they wanted this neighborhood to become. Magpie just wanted to deck. She was only an elder because they needed someone with her matrix chops. Alright. The last big argument was between her, Yip, and Nakamura. It was over something relatively trivial. I think Nakamura wanted to expand the pirate trade business into the Matrix, and she just absolutely refused. Why did she refuse? She said something about not using up valuable bandwidth for trivial entertainment bullshit. it's, it's money! Money's money! Anyway, it went from there into this rant about how she wasn't going to let Tang expand his drone business any further because it would get too much megacorp attention. They accused her of blocking them just because she could, which is probably true, lots of screaming. Huh, what do you mean blocking them? Everybody needs her matrix skills for their business to run properly. There are other deckers, me say, or Moj Nebi, but she had the infrastructure. If their project didn't interest her, she wouldn't even give them the time of day. Well, maybe they shouldn't make her an elder. She's a real hardhead about having her time wasted, but she figures if she's not interested in something, it has no value objectively. Kind of a major blind spot if you ask me. Sounds like she was critical. Yes and no, she was, but once she disappeared, Elder Yip's taken over running the Matrix infrastructure. She's not as good as she was, but his experience with drones makes him the best candidate. They wouldn't trust something like that to anyone who wasn't an Elder, so there you go. I mean, okay. See you later, Sippy. Magpie's shop. Oh, we can talk to these guys? Breaker Hui. An imposing troll stands in front of a store overflowing with weapons of all sorts. Pistols, rifles, and even brass knuckles overflow onto the rug around him. Oh there, you look like a man who understands the value of self-defense. Breaker Hui, at your service. And I can promise you I can help you defend yourself. What do you say? Want to take a look? More interested in information? Yeah? Tell me what you want. Maybe I can help you out. Know anything about the murders? Just that elders have been getting hacked apart. I've tried to stay away from it all. No sense painting the crosshairs on my own forehead, right? The troll shrugs indifferently. I'm nobody important, and I aim to keep it that way. What are your impressions of the Whampoa elders? Can't say I associate much with them. They organize big trade deals with the Loho Jowa pirates, the Triads, and legitimate businesses. They tell us if somebody's been blacklisted and dispense justice when someone breaks the rules. Beyond that, they leave us alone, and I leave them alone. I'm just not important enough to register on their radar. You know anything about Elder Magpie? Never met her, thank God. She ran with the deckers mostly, since she dealt in chips and software. I heard she was hard to work with. I think the phrase I overheard was that she shrieked like a harpy with a fresh corpse. I don't know, you should ask Sippy though. He's a sharp one with the deck, so he'd know her better than most. Aside from Tong, who slings the BTLs around here? The Red Spear Gang. They run up in here sometimes, but don't cause any trouble. Check out the parking garage south of here though, they usually haul up in there. Step light though, if they don't know you and you cop an attitude, they'll put you in the ground. The Red Spear Gang deal in Sims. Funny thing, I heard there was a shootout with some Hong Kong police in the garage a month ago. I was away in Beijing at the time, so I didn't see it directly. But everybody was talking about it when I got back. Why is that funny? Because we don't let the Hong Kong police force in here, most times. We shoot at them if they try. Every time they come in here, it's bad for us, because they're always looking for a scapegoat. Why would the elders let them in? Nobody knows. Alright, see you later. I don't want to see him later, I want to see his other stuff. Information. Alright, he doesn't have any more information. What do you have? Guns? Guns? Very, very basic. Oh, a shock glove. Unarmed. An armored glove. Damage, strength +2. May do AP damage on critical hits. Allows for an enhanced stun attack on a 2-round cooldown. Cool. A shock glove. That sounds fun. Alright, nothing right now. The man in front of his store is rooting through a box of music chips with the swift fingers of someone who knows what they're looking for. Behind him, a music player pumps out a constant stream of distorted atonal music. The store's proprietor is nowhere to be seen. Can you believe this? This is Monebi. They've got 4 bootlegs of Echelon 60, the unreleased Enoch Ian Keys double chip show from Brazzaville, but absolutely 0 chips from the Shotgun Bloom. This store stuff is purely second rate. Hey man, don't get down on Echelon 60. I saw them when they played that unlicensed show at the old Choco Tart factory out in Sunwan. Sunwan. That's actually Chunwan. Chunwan. It's Chunwan. The show was amazing, even if the police had to break it up midway through the second set. TS is Chu, believe it or not, Chunwan. The music aficionado waves his hand dismissively. The show might have been great, but come on, Echelon 60's old news. They're already being mainstreamed. I saw a trade ad for the new Mitsubishi Astro scooter, and they were using Main Volt Underbus as the backing music. Made me sad, I tell you. The decker inclines his head politely towards you. Mo Nebi at your service. Decker, technologist, music fan. You're not from around here, are you? You don't hold yourself like a native. I'm from the UCA. Oh, wait. Not Whampoa Garden, no. Let's not give too much information. Mo runs a hand through his hair, shaking the collected rain off of it. I thought so. What brings you out here? I'm trying to find out who's been killing the elders. The decker pauses a moment, face falling. Oh, that's a nasty business. I heard Tong died tonight. I don't know who or what they pissed off, but it seems like a really bad scene. I'm trying to keep my nose out of it. Still, I like this place. Is there anything I can do to help? What can you do when you tell me about the Whampoans? We're a collection of freaks, geeks, nerds, and tech junkies. This place may look like a third-world bazaar, but believe me, we have stuff here that's cutting edge in almost every field. Mo swells with pride and plants both hands firmly on his hips. Maybe it's not as advanced as the stuff the megas have in their development labs, but it's as advanced as anything you can find in the store. People come from all over the world to buy and sell here, and work out deals for big shipments. We've got contacts with every pirate and smuggling group in the South China Sea, and every major syndicate and gang in the Free Enterprise Zone knows not to mess with us. Not only are there a lot of us, nobody wants to lose what we're selling. Alright. The Red Dragon made a play 4 years ago, but we chased them out. Most gestures with both hands as if shooting away a bothersome insect. Scooted off back to home on tin. And they've never been back. Good for you, that's how you survive. That sounds dangerous, you might have pissed them off. Good for you, that's how you survive. It's all about playing the angles. Yeah, it pissed them off, but we sold goods to the Yellow Lotus at a discount. In exchange, the Yellow Lotus kept them off our back. You don't have to beat up the big guy to win, you just have to make him step back so the other big guy sees he's off-balanced. Stand-up fights are for the megas, we're about survival, just like everybody else in the shadows. Alright. Know anything about the murders? I'm trying to stay as far away from it as possible. I'm not connected enough to hear anything important, and all the talk about monsters is just plain dark. I'm not afraid of monsters, but I don't want to get their attention. All I know is that a couple of months ago we had Elders, Nakamura, Yatande, Gan, and Magpie, and now we don't. I've heard about Magpie, sounds like she was kind of vicious. To be blunt, she was a hateful, shrewish old badger of a person. It was always her way or the highway. She'd butt heads with the other elders over damn near anything. The last fight she had was with Tang over something or another. I guess she ended up throwing some of his micro-drones into a deep fryer and threatening to kick his ass around the block. What was her line of business? Matrix gear. Her shop's called the Jackpoint. Not very imaginative, I know. She always had the hottest programs, best chips, and made some killer decks for anybody willing to pay her rates. It cost plenty of new yen, but she was one of the best in the business, at least in Hong Kong. If you want to know more about her, you should talk to Zippy. He's one of the only people around here who got along with Magpie. You can probably find him by the MTR station. He loves the steamed bun cart over there. Alright, what's your area of expertise? I'm a decker. I used to be a company man for years, pushing code on their servers, smearing at the little cyberpukes that would try to get into our secure systems. I made a pretty good living, had my own place on the 48th floor in a corporate skyscraper. It was the kind of thing the Sims teach you everybody reaches for, the dream life. How'd you end up here? I found out the company wasn't what I thought it was. Sure, they paid me well and kept me in creature comforts. But I accidentally looked over some misfiled reports while cleaning out a company data store. Turns out one of the company's security riggers had gotten drunk and babbled about some project or other being over budget and behind schedule. That's not good. It'd be a fireable offense, right? Mo purses his lips, his gaze going distant for a moment. Well, I guess upper management was worried that info would hurt their stock ratings by a fraction of a point or two. So they fired the guy with a with a 308 round right through the skull. That seems drastic. Wait, they shot him over a fraction of a point. That seems drastic. It may only have been fractions of a point, but it was still tens of millions of new yen. I guess that went beyond a firing offense, directly into murder territory. What's worse, since I now knew about both the project and the murder, I could be next in the firing line. That's a really bad way to run a business, by the way. Because if one of your projects is not going well, and your solution is to kill all the people who are telling you that it's not going well, the project is still not going well. The project is still not gonna succeed. Even if you kill all the critics, you're still gonna suck. So killing all the critics just means that your company continues to be bad, right? The project is never gonna improve, never gonna get fixed if you just kill all the critics. So it's actually a really bad way to run the business. In the long run, it's a bad way to run the business. I knew I wasn't worth the expense to hunt down as long as I kept my head down, so I came out here looking for like-minded deckers. I guess I ended up staying because I could get a semblance of community out here, and I couldn't get that many other places. Alright, see you later, Mo. Yeah, it's not a good way to run a business if you just kill all the people who point out that your business is not going well.